Last year we were in Bali, we were at a waterfall, we were shooting it, that we didn't even know it had started raining. It was just like, the waterfall was massive and it was just gushing. Camera died.
Like died as in the battery died, or like the camera died as in like buried the thing?
Like bye-bye.
Water damage.
You get so caught up on like receiving a no or being ghosted. The amount of times that those people that we pitched to eventually looped back.
If you're afraid of something and your whole body is telling you to leave it, that's the thing you should focus on. It's kind of like a compass.
Well, if you've ever wondered, is it possible to live in a van, live in a bus, or live in your 4x4 vehicle, travel to your home country, and actually get paid, make a good living to shoot for brands and to also shoot for tourism boards? Well, if that is a question that has ever been in your head, you are going to love this week's episode. This week's episode is with Adam and Clara. They are from Australia. They are an awesome couple who just travels, lives on the road, and they've been doing so for the last 3 years, getting to shoot brands, getting to shoot for tourism boards. And little spoiler alert, they didn't always believe you could make money doing it, but this month alone, they've already raked in $25,000, as Clara says, so far. So you're going to love these guys. They're super optimistic. They're completely open books, no gatekeeping about what's working for them right now in their businesses. And yeah, it's just really, really great stuff. So if you've ever wanted to go on the road, make money as you travel, this is going to be an incredibly insightful episode for you. And I'm so glad you're here. If you are new here, by the way, my name is Joey, and my wife and I, Christy, started Creative Rise back in 2019 with a solo mission, a singular focus to help creatives just like me, just like her, just like you, just like Adam and Clara, get paid to do what they love for a living by focusing on the actual business side of running a photography or a filmmaking or a content creation business. And that's why this podcast exists. So I'm so glad you're here. Make sure you get out a piece of paper or something to take notes on, as this episode is jam-packed with tons of golden nuggets about what it looks like to make money working in the tourism space, working in the brand space, while also living life fully on the road. And a quick little thing for you. Just for being here, I want to thank you for being here and give you a great resource today. You can get access to our pricing calculator completely for free. You can download the app. It's actually an app you can get on your phone, or you can access it on your computer. Adam and Clara use it. We use it to price out all of our projects very easily in just a matter of minutes. And you actually know your pricing with a pricing strategy that's going to make sure you get paid what the value of what you're doing is worth. So make sure you hit the link in the description today and pick up and make a free account for the Creative Rise pricing calculator. But other than that, guys, so excited for you guys to get to know Adam and Clara and hear all about the crazy journey they are on of building their business. And I also think you might like where they're actually coming in from. So if you're watching a video, you get to enjoy a beautiful scene behind them as they're out in the middle of nowhere using Starlink to actually be on the podcast, which is so cool. So here is our episode with Adam and Clara. Well, welcome to the show, you two. Adam and Clara, welcome. So excited to see you guys. Actually, good morning to you. It is a chilly, somewhat winter morning there where you guys are. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good. A little cold.
A little bit chilly.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice to be out in the elements.
Well,
yeah.
It looks gorgeous where you guys
Range.
are from.
Yeah. So sick.
Sterling Range National Park in Oz.
Yeah, what's the temp right now out there for you? You can give me Celsius because I'm a
And then
Canadian.
give
I'll
me
translate.
Fahrenheit.
I'll translate into Fahrenheit for all the Americans here.
So I checked before and it's 8 degrees.
Yeah, okay.
8
Okay,
degrees.
so that's-
Okay, wait.
that's in the-
This is going to test my Celsius Fahrenheit conversion knowledge. 8 degrees would be like, wouldn't that be like 40 something?
Yeah. Yeah, like
Fahrenheit?
low 40s.
Low 40.
Yeah,
Wow.
you
I'm
got
I have
really
no idea
impressed
how
with
that
myself.
works.
It's chilly.
Honestly, me
it's
neither,
chilly.
Adam.
Well,
Me
we're so
neither.
glad you guys are here. We're pumped to chat with you guys about just the story of you guys building your business, doing it as a team, which is epic. Doing it on the road, which is epic. You guys have gone from full-on van life or bus life, if you will, a massive vehicle you used to travel all of Australia and live out of and run your business out of, and now the vehicle right behind you, that Prado, much smaller version of what you guys used to be living in, but even more capable, which is super cool. And so you guys, just give a quick intro right off the top, rapid fire, names, where you're from, and why don't you guys just describe your business really quick and tell us how long you've been doing it.
Sure. So I'm Clara. This is Adam. We're originally from Sydney in Australia, but we've been living on the road for 3.5 years. So as Joey just mentioned, we were in a bus for 3 years. And yeah, we've just switched to 4x4 living, which is still very fresh, but yeah, we're loving it so far.
Yeah, we've officially been in it for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So still
Love
figuring
it.
out where everything's going.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like you're like literally and figuratively, we're going off-roading now. How would you guys describe your creative business? What do you guys do?
We always tell everyone I'm a photographer, Clara's a content creator, and we mainly work with tourism boards and outdoor and adventure brands as
So
we travel
sick.
around the country.
Yeah, definitely the dream.
Sick.
And
The absolute dream.
and you guys have been on the road for 3 years. When did you officially start your business? Was that 3 years ago? Was it earlier than that?
Yeah, it was last February.
Yeah. So we've been doing it just over nearly a year and a half now, full time.
Love
Yeah.
it. That's great.
So sweet.
Super
I
cool.
love it, guys. So real quick, kill, date, marry. I'm interested to see what you guys are going to say here. So let's go camera brands. We got Canon. Let's go Sony, and let's go Nikon. What do you got? Kill, date,
Or
marry.
iPhone.
Or actually, let's do iPhone. Yeah, let's do
iPhone.
Canon, Sony, and iPhone.
Canon, Sony, iPhone. Kill,
Sorry, Nikon.
date, marry.
Yeah, what do you got?
Just in terms of like camera, not like
Yeah.
access to web and stuff.
That, maybe you got to
gotta chime
consider
in on
that.
this a
I
little
feel like
bit.
you got to
Yeah, yeah.
consider that, Adam.
That,
to you.
you know what? That's a
iPhone at
consideration
the
most
top
people don't
end.
have to take in.
I think way too much about stuff. So I feel like for me, I shoot on Sony. I used to shoot on Canon when I was younger. iPhone is incredibly useful tool. So I'd probably marry iPhone, date Sony, kill Canon.
Yeah, you
Interesting.
did break up with
You?
Canon.
Yeah. I thought you would have put Sony up the top.
Yeah, don't make me overthink it.
I love that. What would you say,
Well,
Clara?
yeah, iPhone would be up the top for me because I shoot everything on my iPhone. So yeah, probably iPhone. I do Sony next for you, and then Canon.
Yeah, you've never even seen a Canon, have you?
Yeah, yeah. You don't touch the Canon.
There you go.
That's
Kill
so
'em off.
great.
Okay,
so
guys,
This
and-
is before we get into the next like rapid fire question. I just want to kind of segue with this really quick. You guys did how much money last month?
What was your revenue?
Oh, this month
This month,
This month.
25K?
so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so and I ask you the question because you both just said your favorite camera is an iPhone. And you guys also have a business that just did $25,000 last month. That's incredible. I just feel like I need to put that out there. How awesome is that we're living in a world where that's a thing? I mean,
Yes.
I would have never imagined that a decade ago. Actually, maybe I would have. I think I maybe would have talked about
You-
that a
you
little
did
bit. But
kinda call it.
I feel like maybe I was pretty optimistic about that. But you guys are living that, which is really, really cool.
Which
so
is amazing.
We're gonna get into more of that stuff later. But
Yeah.
Clara, you started right before we hit record. You were like, "Oh, I'm a little bit like congested today." Adam, you asked me about this massive like Harry Potter looking scar on my head today. A couple of us have come to this podcast recording
A little bit
with
wounded.
some wounds. So here's the question that I want to ask you. By the way, everybody that's looking, I scratched myself with my pinky fingernail the other day swimming
Really
in a
cool
pool.
story.
It's a really, really not dramatic story, and I have this massive scrape on my forehead now. Anyways, I've got some wounds. Why don't the two of you quickly, before we get into like all the amazing stuff you're doing and how you're doing it so people can learn how to replicate it and learn from your journey, why don't you just humanize yourself for a second? Do the two of you have a flop, either together or individually, from running your business? Something where you're like, that
did not go well."
Didn't go well.
I have one that actually ties into backing up the whole iPhone being on top. Last year we were in Bali and we were at a waterfall. We were shooting it. It was so wet that we didn't even know it had started raining. It was just like the waterfall was massive and it was just
Yeah.
gushing.
Yeah, all the spray coming off it. We couldn't even tell.
And
it
you
was raining.
walk down heaps of stairs to get there. So I'm trying to like cover my camera from it getting wet. It's just pouring and pouring. And the camera died. So
Oh,
Right
like-
before. we were
Like
shooting at
died as in the
hotel.
battery died, or like the camera died as
Oh,
in
it
like
fried.
bury the thing?
Like bye-bye.
water damage, yeah.
What type of camera?
And then it was a Sony A7 III.
I guess that should have been the kill.
This
kill should have been Sony.
Yeah, this
Literally
is
killed one.
why we love the iPhone, right?
Oh my
Come on.
gosh. Clara, do
Yeah.
you have a flop as well?
Give us something, Clara.
I think that was my flop. Well,
That was
'cause we
your
were having
flop.
a chat about it the other day. Yeah. Well,
We were shooting a hotel 2 days later.
Yeah.
And we were in the middle of, we were what, like 2-3 hours from the nearest city.
and
Oh,
I think
no.
it happened on a weekend. So we were checking into the hotel on Monday, and yeah, the camera fried itself on the Saturday, and we were like, right, we've got a day to
Yeah.
find a brand new camera, purchase it, but we're nowhere near
my
a city. So
I was going to get on a motorbike and drive down into the city and try and like go to every camera store I could find.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but-
gosh.
we just got super lucky. My dad has a driver that we use for the whole family, and absolute legend. He was just like, let me run around the city. I'll go to a few different camera stores. Like, ideally, what camera would you like? I'll see what price I
my
can get
gosh.
it for.
That's
you got us
amazing.
a discount.
Let's
Wait,
go.
wait, hold on. So this is like your dad's friend in Indo that you just connected with, and he was like, let me just run around and run this errand
What a
for you to try and
legend.
figure it out. And he ended up getting you a discount.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I think it was still
That's-
like a five grand camera.
They're more expensive in Asia, even though
Yeah.
I think they're made in, I can't remember where they're made, but they're made over there and they're actually more expensive than in Australia.
Wow,
bro.
that's
That's
great. That's
crazy.
actually
Yeah.
insane.
So you guys ended up pulling it off. It was a total flop, but you ended up saving the day because
Yeah.
this guy ended
Just.
up hooking up a new camera.
That
Okay,
is
that's
awesome.
incredible.
I had a
That's a
similar
good
flop.
story.
My first paid wedding ever. My camera had a huge error message on the screen, and I remember standing in line
no.
at like 8 a.m. at Costco, just trying to get whatever camera that they had. I think they had like a T3i that I was purchasing for the day as a backup in case my camera absolutely fried itself. Thankfully, it did not. It was able to go through the day, but
Oh,
that
that's
was
good.
very stressful. So I feel your pain.
That's
Well,
so stressful.
That's a good flop.
That's hectic. All right, guys. Well, let's get into the goods here. So we got to meet you earlier this year, which was so awesome. So you guys joined round 15 of the 6-week Creative Res Mastermind, which was epic. And you guys have just had so much stuff happening. Even right before we hit record on this podcast, you were like, the last 3 months have been the craziest months ever for so many reasons. So why don't you just give us like a 50,000 foot view on what have the last 90 days looked like for you guys? And then we're going to really get into like kind of the strategies you're working with, how you're doing what you're doing, and really share a ton of wisdom with everybody listening. But give us like the very high top, what's going on in your lives over the last 90 days? Take us there.
Well, I think it all started with us selling our bus. So, yeah, we self-converted a Toyota Coaster and we lived in it for 3 years full time. And that's where we worked from. We travelled Australia in. And, yeah, during the mastermind, we sold the bus, switched to the Prado that's next to us. I feel like that's where it all kind of started.
But we also had a bunch of things going on. So we had my sister's partner had his 40th in Thailand. So I think we just gotten back from Thailand and went straight into week 1 of the mastermind. And then during week 1 of the mastermind, we sold the bus within 12 hours. This woman reached out to us 12 hours later, she owned it. So then we moved
Wow.
into the Prado.
That's crazy.
And then
That was chaotic.
I think a week later we were in Indo for some friends' 30ths. And then, so we were there for 2 weeks. So we were kind of doing the mastermind while trying to hang out with our friends who they're all in Sydney, so we don't see them all the time as well. And then got back from Indo and then had a 3-week job in New South Wales where we were shooting for a few brands and
Tourism board.
finishing up the mastermind. And when we go home to Sydney, because we're not there, we probably go back like once a year. It's pretty intense, like breakfast with friends, lunch with other friends, dinner with
Yeah.
friends. So there's not really any time to relax. So it was a lot, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, when we wrapped up the mastermind, the 3-week job Adam just mentioned, it was like a hiking campaign with a tourism board, another campaign with like a caravan park sort of company.
Yeah.
And what else did we have while we were over there? There was something else.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a tiny home shoot.
And a
So
wedding.
cool.
And a wedding.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
then when we
just
got
pure,
back,
pure chaos.
Yeah.
Then when we got back, we had because our Prado had nothing in it. It was just a shell. So I had the fit out, had to do all the electrical stuff, which I thought would take 2 days. It took me a week, which was kind of stressful. But I think in the long term, better that it took longer.
Yeah.
And then, we finished the electrical setup and started a 2-week job running around the southwest of Victoria, of WA.
Shooting a winter campaign.
Yeah, which is why we're all rugged up.
Yeah.
And we just finished that yesterday. So we're kind of on our way to another campaign starting in 2 days, which is about 5 hours north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're doing lots of driving.
Yes. So Adam and Clara, you guys are insanely busy.
Back to back.
Back to back to back jobs, work, booked up, crazy, had a $25,000 month. And as Clara said, so far, you guys have done incredible things and you're so crazy busy. You started your business like a year and a half ago, right? Like a year and a half ago. And you are this busy now. I would just love to dive into how the heck this all happened. So first of all, you guys got started a year and a half ago. What were you doing before that? Just for the audience to hear, what were you doing job-wise? And then what was the shift? What was the pivot? Why did you guys want to get into like the creative field and owning your own business?
So I'm a high school teacher, and when we left Sydney and hit the road in the bus, I kind of just gathered that I'd probably occasionally do a little bit of casual teaching work, maybe some short stints here and there. And I guess you were kind of like, what do I do?
We thought we were going to go away for a year initially. So we bought the bus and we're like, let's do a build. We'll go around Australia. A year should be plenty of time. It's not that big. We've only done half of it in the 3.5 years. I was working for an artist making sculptures in Sydney, and my background's in design, and I was like, I don't know what that's going to translate to on the road. So I picked up window cleaning, which is its own story in itself. But honestly, such a fun job.
Yeah.
So yeah, Clara would stop and work somewhere for like a month or two. If there was a teaching gig, I'd just go on Facebook and advertise window cleaning, which was a hit when we'd go through like farming areas because they don't have window cleaners.
We'd always been in quite remote areas whenever we'd stop. So it was so funny. Adam would be the talk of the town, and I'd hear it through all the other teachers in the staff room, like at recess and stuff. They'd be like, oh, you know, blah, 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 I'm getting my windows cleaned. I'd be like, oh, is it with Adam? Yeah, that's my partner. And someone else would be like, can he clean my windows?
It was amazing.
No way. Wait, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like
That's
a
awesome.
movie, you guys. That's great. I love that.
It was so
okay,
funny.
so you guys were doing your thing. You were doing the teaching, doing the window cleaning. And then what was the pivot? What was the shift?
Well, I've always been into photography. So like ever since I was a kid, I've had a camera, and I just used to take photos when we both travel quite a lot in our 20s and in our teens. And like my dream when I was younger was to get paid to travel, and I used to idolize like Nat Geo photographers and all that kind of stuff. And I think midway through my 20s, I was kind of like, oh, I don't think that exists anymore. So when we started our lap, we were just taking photos for memories and
Documenting for family and friends.
on it, like putting it on Instagram, just like anyone else. And then I guess there's only so much of like that you can do in front of a camera. So we started to get a bit creative and just trying to see like how we could kind of do more interesting things in the frame. And we're both really into being out in nature, and like I love big, expansive landscapes and stuff, and like with a human element. So we were just making cool photos, I think, and brands started reaching out to us, and they're like, oh, can you wear our clothing, or can you photograph this thing? And I think it just kind of started going enough where like, oh, let's see if we can actually make some cash while we're doing this. So we're doing it for a few months, and then Clara reached out to a tourism board, and when they agreed, we're like, oh, let's see if we can actually live from this. And we're still kind of confused how we got to where we are. Like, it's been a wild ride.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Absolutely. That's the best story, by the way.
I don't personally feel like I'm confused on how you guys got to where you are. Why don't we start with this? You guys have done, obviously you're very talented, but there is a lot of talented people that are also aligning themselves with opportunity, aka like they're living in a van or they're living road life, you know, in very beautiful places, but it still doesn't mean that they're making money and actually
Yes.
having a successful business. I'm sure you've met countless people on the road who are trying to do what you guys are doing. And even think back to, you know, probably the first year and a half of when you guys were doing what you're doing. Like you're like, oh, this would be a dream, but I don't know if people actually get paid to do this. Now, fast forward, you guys have made over $30,000, you know, since the mastermind started, 20,000, 25,000 this past month. Like incredible. You guys are doing unrealistic things though, to what the average person in this space would think to do.
Yeah.
And you're getting unrealistic results because of that, which is really cool. So take me to the idea of you guys pitching and trying to get 50 responses. So I want to dive into that because inside of the mastermind, you guys set an awesome goal to, in the last 3 weeks, 21 days in the mastermind, you said we're going to make our goal to get 50 responses back from people we pitch, and we're going to go hard and make it happen. And I would like to assume that you guys are now having a pretty record-breaking month because you guys have done a lot of the inputs with pitching. But what I'm the most blown away by is not necessarily the financial number. It's that you guys got, what was it, like 50-something, 57 responses from like 75 pitches? What were the numbers?
I think, yeah, by the end of the mastermind, I think we were on 47 out of 50 replies. And yeah, we'd sent out, I looked at the numbers yesterday, we sent out 71 pitches, and up until yesterday, we'd received 57 responses.
It kind of
Yeah,
got to a point
That's
where
insane.
we'd sent so many out, but then because we've been doing the build and starting this job, I think we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit where we couldn't actually keep up with how many replies we were getting. So we've
Wow.
probably lost some work, maybe.
I think we've definitely,
It was
yeah,
too
we haven't been on
successful.
top of, we haven't been on top of like following up. But
Yeah.
since the mastermind ended, a bunch of brands have responded back to us being like, oh, sorry, you know, it's been a few weeks, like things have been piling up, but yeah, like send across your ideas and
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah. So I feel like the wages definitely had a flow-on effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think,
which is
That's
so
amazing.
Joe,
cool.
you said before when you were like unrealistic, I think that was the point of the 50 was set an unrealistic goal because I feel like you want to not make the wager almost, if that makes sense. Like I didn't expect to get that many replies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys really
But I
pushed
think
yourself.
It's got to be something that's going to force you to take different actions than you
Yeah.
have been taking, right? Because you're trying to get a different
Yeah.
result than you've been getting, which is exactly why we do those. But okay, so 47 out of, 47 replies, that's now gone up to 57 replies out of 71 pitches. That beats every possible data point I have ever seen in my 14 years of being self-employed and pitching.
Yes.
On the number of responses. The response rate you guys have is astronomical. That's like way over 50%. So why don't you take me into your brains? Let's give everybody what they're asking for listening to this, because everyone's going to be thinking, what in the world are they pitching and how are they getting so many responses? So why don't you take us to pitching school for a second?
Yes.
What is one thing, before you actually describe what your pitch is, what is one thing that you used to do in your pitching you have now realized do not do that anymore?
Yeah.
Like, we used to do this. It's an issue. It does not get you responses. Take us there.
So we've done a lot of driving the last couple of weeks, and we've been listening to a lot of your podcasts. And we listened to the chat you had with Ross the other day.
Yeah.
And-
Legend.
Yeah, I feel like Ross hit the nail on the head. The things that he was saying, I was like, wow, we used to do the exact same thing up until the mastermind. But basically all the pictures we used to send were, we're Adam and Clara, we're going to be in your area, in the next couple of months or these dates.
They were about us.
Yeah, they were always about us and basically like, let's work together. And I mean, that's what we were doing in the last.
Well, I couldn't even pitch. I was
Yeah.
always afraid of kind of reaching out to a brand that I wanted to work with, messing it up and feeling that I wouldn't even ever get to work with them again.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
kind
Yes, I remember
of
that.
too afraid to pitch.
Yeah.
Whereas Clara would always be like chatting to people. She loves kind of chatting to people. So you'd always talk to brands and stuff before we even started pitching.
Yeah.
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 That's so good.
So I think, yeah, it used to be very much about like, we're going to be in your area or we're going to be here. Let's work together. And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that we were able to get the jobs we got last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
with,
So
from sending that.
yeah. So if it used to be all about you, and I'm sure so many people are listening going, wait, what's wrong with that? Like I do that, right?
Yeah, tell
Talk
us.
about
Talk
why
about it.
why is that a pitfall? How have you discovered that to be an actual pitfall when it comes to pitching and not as effective as how you're doing it now?
I think, you know, when you send a pitch to a brand or a tourism board, I think the amount of emails and pitches they receive every day is through the roof. So I think in order to stand out, you've really got to present yourself in a way that's like memorable. And, you know, I think one of the most impactful things that I learned during the Mastermind was, you know, yes, you're a creative, but you're also a problem solver.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, as soon as I heard that line, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, we
Yeah.
need to stop pitching ourselves as, you know, we can take pretty photos and create nice content for you and actually, you know, present ourselves as problem solvers and say, hey, you know, I can see you have high quality imagery, but you're missing UGC videos or, you know, UGC reels. Like I can create the reels for you and actually figure out what their pain points are and present ourselves as problem solvers and how we can fix those missing gaps.
Probably show that
Yeah.
you're paying attention to them. I guess like everyone
Yeah.
likes to feel like they're seen,
Yeah.
especially brands.
Or what you love about the brand, what they're doing well.
Yeah. It's your way in, I think, is to say like, hey guys, you're doing this really well, or we really love how you do this. We reckon we could like supplement it with extra content that does this instead, or that kind of thing. I think a
Yeah.
big thing for us now as well is, and one of the reasons we've been fairly successful is that we do have the ability to head anywhere. So our biggest selling point is we're going to be in Esperance or Margaret River or the Stirling Range or Exmouth over the next 6 months. We've noticed that you don't have any content in blah, blah, blah. We can do that for you, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so good,
great.
you
You
guys.
too. Well, there's so much I want to unpack in what you both just said.
Yeah, there's so much gold.
Adam, I want to get into in a second the insecurity around pitching and feeling like
yes,
that
that's
there's
so
kind of
real.
a scarce reality around it, where if you mess up the pitch once, your opportunity's
They're
gone.
like,
We're gonna get into
blocked.
that. We're gonna get into that after. I want to talk a little bit more though about like, okay, so you just mentioned make the pitch about them, don't make it about you. You also then just said make sure you're actually solving a problem. So your pitch is actually like solving something for them. It's helping them achieve a business objective that without you, otherwise, they're going to be on their own to achieve and they might struggle to do that. Take me into your brains as you think about that problem solving, because one of the things that I think a lot of creatives default to is, well, I'll just make the pitch about me, my work, my abilities, my past stuff, because they don't know how to actually look at a brand, you know, analyze what they're doing, analyze what they could be doing better. And then, Adam, you mentioned this. You were like, I reckon we can supplement you guys in this area. We can support you in this area. So take me into your minds when you go to make a pitch to a brand. What is running through your head? How do you actually identify what problems or opportunities a brand actually has in front of them? And then how do you speak to that in a way where you're not offending them? Because that is a huge issue that a lot of creatives feel stuck up on, is they're like, I feel like I don't know how to identify their problems, or if I do, I feel like if I call them out, maybe it's going to be mean and I'm going to piss them off, you know? So how do you guys go about that? Because that is really the core of your pitch. And it's really important you do that well. So take us there. What's that look like for you?
What's it called? Like a something sandwich where it's like positive, negative, positive.
Yes, a compliment sandwich.
Where like you start with something they're doing well,
Yeah.
and then you don't criticize or say you guys suck at this or you guys don't do this. Or you could probably say you don't do it, but you say it in a way where it's like, imagine, I guess the thing that I try to think about is like, if you can paint a picture in their heads that makes them almost like salivate at the idea of what they're going to get, like you talk about it as if it already exists.
Yeah.
And so you kind of say like, we love how you're doing this. Imagine if you also had this, or imagine how much like more people you might reach if you do something like this.
Yeah.
And then I guess you don't even need the negative bit at the end, right? So
Yeah.
Scrap
You're
the
like
sandwich.
painting. Scrap the sandwich. It's open-faced sandwich.
Yeah.
I love that because I love the word imagine. I think that is a great one for people to take and utilize and move forward with because it is that. It's painting the opportunity. That's what I'm hearing you say, Adam, is like, I am painting an opportunity. I'm painting this, like, imagine this dream scenario that they could have if they do X. And I think that's so, so cool. Clara, what would you add to that thought of just how to communicate problems, how to communicate opportunity? Like, is there a certain way you like to do it when you're in an intro DM with a potential company? Or, you know, how do you like to, or maybe even also, how do you diagnose that in a company?
Yeah,
how do you
find that?
even know what their problems are? What do you guys do before you pitch that makes sure you can speak to the problem?
So I think the first thing that I do, if it's a brand or a tourism board that we're thinking of reaching out to, I'll go follow them. And maybe for like a week or so, like I'll make sure I'm engaging on a lot of their content, actually like commenting things and, I guess just like trying to, show our name a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And I'll spend some time on, say, their Instagram, just checking like how regularly they're posting, what they're posting. I'm thinking about like, okay, do they tend to post more high quality imagery, or are they very like UGC reel heavy, or things like that. So I kind of just go through their page and have a look. And when we feel like we're ready to, start developing our pitch, those things go into the pitch. So if it's like, if I can see they're posting quite regularly, it means that they would need like a bank of content to be able to dip into it regularly. So that could potentially be a pain point where if they're potentially struggling with not having enough content, that's something that we could help to fill. Or if their page is very UGC iPhone content heavy, which isn't a bad thing. That's something that stands out really quickly with brands. If you go and have a look at their page and it's all just reels, they don't have any like high quality product photography, then that's another pain point where we can assist. Mm-hmm. And it's just things like that. But I go and spend quite a lot of time, particularly on their Instagram page, like just seeing what they post and how often they post. And I factor that into our pitches.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that, you guys.
Yeah, I love that you're like, I actually, some of the language that we use in the Mastermind, that if you're just listening to the podcast, this might be foreign language to you, but you guys are really just diagnosing like, what's their funnel? What's their content funnel? How do I perceive that they are doing business and making money? Mm-hmm. And where are the gaps, or where are the opportunities inside of their content funnel, which is how they generate attention and bring a potential customer down towards becoming a customer, buying a product, buying a service. Where are there opportunities in that content could support that? That is our entire jobs. That's my job. That's Christy's job. That's your job, Adam. That's your job, Clara. All of our jobs is to create an outcome for somebody, right? And it's super important that you actually learn how to identify where in someone's funnel those outcomes are, so you can speak to those, which is so brilliant.
And a lot of that stuff is public. That's what I think a lot of people don't realize. A lot of that's public. So like, obviously organic social is public, but a lot of people don't know that you can literally go into the back end of someone's Facebook and Instagram ads, right? You just go to Facebook, click on their name of their page. You'll see page transparency. You can jump in there and you can literally see every single ad that they are currently running. And that's always a great little tip that I give people. It's like, hey, go take 30 seconds, jump into their paid ad library, figure out what are they not doing, and pitch that as an idea. It can be as simple as that, which I think is really, really cool. Well, Adam, I want to touch on what you talked about of like, well, shoot, I want to make sure that when I have my pitch, it's perfect so that I have this one opportunity, right? And I think I have felt that before, and I think a lot of creatives feel
absolutely. Same with me.
of this idea of like, well, I want to make sure it's perfect, or I want to be at this spot of my business or in my work or X, Y, and Z, because what if I pitch and they say no and that's the end of it? How have you personally dealt with that and gotten through that and managed that fear?
I think the like quickest way to answer it is just do it, like get it done. I mean, part of the first week of the course is done is better than perfect, or
Yep, sure is.
like 80% done is better than 100% done.
Yes.
And one thing that I learned last year that I found really useful was, if you're afraid of something and your whole body is telling you to leave it or to ignore it in case something goes wrong, that's the thing you should focus on. It's kind of like a compass. That's the thing that's most important to you right now. And if you just spend time doing it, and I guess there's different ways, like if you spend time reading about it or watching YouTube videos about it, that's still not doing it. You just have to do the thing. And so for me, I think during the Mastermind, learning how to pitch and overcome that, it was actually a way bigger hurdle in my head than it was in reality. And yeah, just doing it.
Yeah.
Like practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Well, because the truth is that I remember us having this conversation with you, Adam, and because this is a very common thing. I felt this a ton, and you just voiced it.
People
so we
always
ended up
feel this
chatting
way.
about it. But the reality is you can pitch a brand, they can say no or they can ghost you, and you can still have another at bat with them. And I think I might have actually told you guys a story where I have a friend from New Zealand who pitched the North Face like over 50 times before they ever ended up working with him. And when he first told me that story, he really helped me unlock that in my own brain of like, oh, wow, I don't have to spend all this time building up this anticipation and building up this skill or this confidence to make this one grand, beautiful pitch, hoping that it lands. I can just start sending them ideas and pitching them all the time. And if they say no or they ghost me, no problem. Move on to the next idea and hit them with another one, right? And that was a huge unlock for me because I was also living in that same mindset of like, I'm getting anxious about sending this pitch because I want to make sure it's perfect. And then we get stuck in that hamster wheel and we'll never send it.
Yeah.
You know, because we're so afraid that they're going to say no. Or even worse, we do send the one pitch, they don't respond, and we take that as they don't want to work with me. And then we never pitch that company again. Where, you know, for the, I was going to say for everybody, but you guys are kind of outliers. Your pitches get insane response rates because they're so good. For a lot of people, though, you have to pitch a brand multiple times, right? You got to follow up. You guys even talked about that. You guys need to do some more follow-ups with people. You've got to follow up a bunch of times. So that's just encouraging. I hope if you're listening to the podcast today, this is just going to lift some weight off your shoulders. Adam just kind of exposing that untrue belief that a lot of us hold around pitching, that you have to get the pitch perfect before you send it because it's your only shot. It's just not true.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Well,
We've heard things.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, did you go first?
Yeah, I was going to say what you guys just mentioned, how you get so caught up on like receiving a no or being ghosted. And last year, something that we found that happened a number of times was even if we sent a pitch, a brand or tourism board or a stay came back and said like, oh no, sorry, we're not looking to take on any paid work with creators at the moment. The amount of times that those people that we pitched to eventually looped back and said, hey, like, are you guys still in the area, or when are you passing through next? You know, would you be interested in working together? That's something that really shocked me last year. So I think like even that the first impression that you make or that first pitch you send across, even if they say no, coming back to them and still being really like open and warm and excited to potentially work together in the future. I think that is massive.
That's what I was
That's a
going to say.
great
Like,
tip.
you don't really know what someone's going through. Like, you might have sent a pitch out. Someone might have just broken up with their partner, or something
True.
bad's happening in their life, and they just see it and they're like, I don't want to deal with that right now. Or they've probably got 50 things on their plate, and that's something that it just isn't important to them at that point in time, or it's not needed. We've sent pitches out 4 times to the same people, as in like, the 4th follow-up before they've said, hey, sorry, we didn't reply. We've only just seen these now. And it might be like 6 weeks later.
I think our biggest client that we just shot the 2-week job for, we didn't get our first job with them until the 3rd follow-up. And that was, I think it took place over 6 or so months of us just being like, hey, hi again. Hello.
Yeah.
You're like, how many different ways can I say hello? That's great.
You got to start saying hi in different languages
Yes.
and just see if it works.
See if it catches on.
Yeah. Well,
we don't
that's
want to
so
work with these
good.
guys.
Yeah, so good. And it's so
That's
true.
great
We always
encouragement for
say
people.
the deals are in the follow-ups. We talk about
Yeah.
that all the time. You guys know that. So you guys are such good living proof of this. Why don't we switch gears and actually talk about the industries that you guys are working in?
Yes.
So you are heavily working in the tourism industry and in the outdoor, brand, lifestyle, product industry. 2 industries that a lot of people dream of working in. And so Adam, you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, you said, when I was younger, I always had the dream to be doing what we're doing right now, but I just didn't know, honestly, if that was even a thing anymore. I didn't know if people actually made money doing this. So you guys just had a $25,000 month so far, and you're going to continue to have an incredible year because you guys have laid so much of the 6-figure foundation that's just built you guys an epic business. But take me into what does a typical job look like for you guys? What are you selling? What are the deliverables look like? Throw around some loose numbers on what you would be charging for stuff.
Yeah, ranges.
And ranges. And I asked that because I think what a lot of people struggle with in the brand industry is they go, well, I can't really make money doing this, or I can't make a ton of money doing this because somebody's just going to do it for that brand or for that tourism board for free. So why would they hire me for $10,000 to do a project? And you guys have had multiple deals that are 5-figure deals, right? So take me there. How have you broken that belief in your brain, and what are you actually offering right now? Talk me through it.
First thing that comes to my mind is, in Australia at the moment, for the last probably 5-10 years, but it's getting more more people are doing it now. Heaps of people are living on the road. I feel like it's becoming a rite of passage to do a lap, and everyone has an iPhone. Lots of people have proper cameras as well. Not that an iPhone's not a proper camera, but I think that there's so many people, there's an abundance of people shooting things that it's a bit of a tricky place to be, where there's a lot of potential to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the things that we found last year that kind of, I think it was like a weird shortcut to getting more work, was saying no to brands. Like, a brand would come up, message us and be like, hey, can we send you some stuff, and you can, in exchange, give us some content. And we would just say, we don't have the capacity to do that right now. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, what if we give you, a few $1,000? And yeah, I think that was kind of a big lesson for us, is you don't always have to say yes.
Yeah, the power of saying no.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's such a good lesson, especially in your guys' space of the travel and the tourism and all of that kind of stuff, is there is so much just people willing to do stuff for free. But there are also still brands that are willing to pay for great content that actually solves a problem, right? And that's a big deal, which I love. That goes back to what we were talking about for sure about that. So when you guys think about, okay, let's have a brand, they've reached out to you or you're reaching out to them, what type of packages do you guys like to offer? Are you offering multiple packages? Is it usually a custom offer that you build for them? And what's like a range of pricing that you tend to do, whether we can go brand first and then tourism board next? I'd love to dive into the tourism board side of things, but just what's like some typical offers and deliverables?
What's popular
for you
right now?
guys?
What's selling? Like, what are people like, yeah, we're going to hire you guys for that. We want that. We want that.
Also, I just want to mention, if you hear mooing in the background, some cows have started making their way towards us. So it's not
that's
us.
hilarious.
That
We
is
can't
all-
even hear it.
yeah,
We
you're like,
can't even hear it.
We don't move.
They're
I
joining
love
the
that.
pod. Hey,
Hey, I love
joining
it.
the
I'm like
pod.
hearing the birds. I'm like, this is actually a really nice podcast right now to be listening to. So
Yeah.
don't worry about
So
that.
good.
I was just sitting here, I was like, I have to say something.
We cannot
That's
hear it
awesome.
anywhere as much as you probably think we can hear it.
Yes.
So you're good.
Okay, cool.
So we can move.
Yeah.
I think every job we shoot is so different. And yeah, I feel like a lot of the brands that we work with, I feel like most of them are quite tailored packages. So yeah, it depends on like whether they're missing something. We do a lot of UGC, like UGC reels and
Photos and UGC reels. I think for tourism boards, it's mainly photos
B-roll.
and B-roll.
Whereas their brands is, photo and UGC videos.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk me through I just heard two things that I think we need to go a little bit deeper on there. You said UGC and you said B-roll. I think what people think of when they hear UGC is like, oh, Adam's in like a little outfit, in the back of the car doing a little dance, and it's like, oh, look what I just bought. I got off Temu. Like, that's not the UGC you guys are talking about,
Temu?
right? So describe to me, like, what is UGC when you say it? Because I think the term has gotten so widely used that there's a lot of UGC that does not pay, and then there's a lot of UGC that's like, oh, this is killer for companies and they love it and they pay for it. So take me into the world of like, what does UGC look like for the brands and for the tourism boards that you guys are working with, and then throw out some like loose ranges on like what are some numbers that kind of associate with some of the UGC videos. Are you charging $50 for a UGC video? Can somebody charge $500, $1,000? I think a lot of people are wondering that question. So take us into the world of your UGC.
So UGC is user generated content. And yeah, Joey, as you said, it's such a widely used term now, which involves like so many different types of videos that you can create. So I think for us, when we're working with brands and also tourism boards, but I'll focus on brands for now. If it's, say, like we're shooting a product, and usually we'll, chat to the brand beforehand, see if there is any particular type of UGC video they'd prefer us to create. And, some come back saying, oh, can you do like a voiceover reel? And yeah, basically it's just us talking through what we love about the product, or what the features are, what they're useful for, and actually show us using the product with a voiceover recording. I feel like we do that quite often for brands. In the tourism space, it's usually if we're like out on an experience, we'll capture it from our perspective, and sometimes it can include like a voiceover recording, or sometimes it might just be just video clips with text.
Yeah, we rarely talk to the camera in a lot of our videos. We sometimes do, like we'll do it.
Like face to face,
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's voiceover on top of B-roll. So I guess B-roll capturing clips of the product in use or the experience as it happens from the guest's perspective, or a lot of the time it's just sometimes they want clips from our travels kind of interspersed with clips of their product. So it's I feel like there's so many we're still trying to figure it all out. Like when we first started doing this, it felt like we were like walking around in the dark just bumping into things, whereas the reason we did the Mastermind and we're trying to understand it all, as it is so hard to figure out what everything means and what to offer.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I think because we have different rates for tourism and brands. For brands, our UGC videos start from, I think it's like $500. And then depending on whether they want it just like the UGC video itself for them to post on their own socials, or if they want it to be posted on our Instagram page, there's an additional fee for that. And if they're wanting to run paid ads for it, some brands that we work with do pay for paid ads, whereas some brands also just expect it. So if they expect it within the fee, then we up our rate a little. But the brands that do pay for paid usage every month, that's a percentage of the content fee every month.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
So I mean, you start putting this together, right? You do 4 videos a month for a company. It's $2,000 a month. You stack 4 of those clients, 5 of those clients. It's $10,000 a month, right? Which is so doable. Like I think
Yes.
that's what's so cool about this opportunity that's in front of all of us with UGC or just short form content in general. Is that I when I got started. I started my filmmaking company. I would shoot full-on like 4-minute website videos for companies for like $500. It would be like a 2-day shoot, a week of editing, and I was young, but I thought it was unbelievable. I was like, $500 for this? I can do 3 of these this month and make $1,500. Like, it's so cool. So now the fact that you guys can go out on a hike, have some fun, go for a swim, swim in a waterfall, come home and do a voiceover overlaying those clips, and you can send that off for $500, $800, $1,000, depending on like how the company's packaging it, and where they're using it. I mean, that's just incredible. It's incredible that that's the world we live in right now, which is so cool. So I love that. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to add in, like, someone might be like, oh, $500 though. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the power of stacking, and then the power of stacking, getting into retainers, pushing that, because yes, $500, like someone might be like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine ever selling something for $500. And you have someone who might be like, wait, no, like I want to be doing, X amount. But you start stacking these and it starts paying. And all of a sudden you're getting bypassed in revenue by someone who's doing UGC for $500 a pop, but they're stacking, they're making recurring revenue, they're building long-term partnerships with brands, and then they're getting handed big, huge campaigns, right? Because they've built so much trust. And UGC is powerful. Most brands right now are wanting more UGC than like professional photo and professional video, like because it is so effective. So I love that you guys are doing that. Sorry, Joe,
because I was going to say, you guys, you're not doing like one UGC video for like 7 different brands in a month. You're doing multiple for a smaller amount of brands in a given month, which is incredible. So it's all about stacking, which is important.
Which is
I
awesome.
think it's great.
So I would love to open up the conversation of tourism boards. So let's go. There is someone who's in Upper Canada. They're like, know nothing about tourism boards. They're like, wait, what's a tourism board? Like, who are these people? How do I get paid to travel and do these cool experiences? There's people that want to pay me for that. Give some just education around tourism boards. What are they? What do they do? How do they utilize content? And then how do you guys play a role in filling that content machine? And can you charge for it?
Yeah. And because I was going to say real quick before you answer that too, like some of your biggest jobs have been, some of the highest paying jobs you guys have ever had have been tourism boards, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say tourism board's just a business, and their business is in bringing people to the area to put money back into all the businesses within the area. So their goal or their job is to promote tourism to the area that they represent. So the content that they need is essentially, I mean, it can range for a lot of different purposes, but it might be, they'll send you on a helicopter ride, or they'll send you to a cave experience, or they'll send you on a boat that showcases, like a whale watching tour, or orcas or dolphin experience, something like that. And they just want to kind of show it to more people, or have B-roll, which they can then repurpose to make their own content, or good looking photos or videos that they can show when they travel around the country or even internationally at like an expo.
Yeah, also to use on their like brochures or like a lot of the tourism boards in Western Australia every year, they print out a bunch of, how would you call them? They're like travel guides, aren't they? So like, using the images, updated images throughout their travel guides and on the front cover and things like that. I think we were chatting about this the other day. I think we came into the WA tourism industry at a really lucky time because we both love hiking and that's our favourite type of content to capture. And I think when after our first job with a tourism board in WA, we actually, funnily enough, we shot hiking content here. So this is the Stirling Range.
Full circle.
Yeah, this is the Stirling Range, and our first tourism board was within this area. And
Sick.
We shot some pretty epic content up on these ranges. And through that, other tourism boards started seeing us and they were like, hey guys, saw your content from, the Australia's Southwest campaign, saw your hiking content, any chance you can come to our region and shoot a hiking campaign for us? So, I think there was just maybe a bit of a gap in trails and hikes for tourism boards within Western Australia, and we came in at a really good time.
But then I think also it'd be like, oh, while you're in the area, we also need content for, this restaurant or
museum.
this museum that we want to promote in the next, season. Or winter's coming up, we want to do a few cozy stays. Can you head here on your way to this hiking trail? So I guess it's the stacking there, like figuring out what else you can help them with while you're in the area.
Absolutely.
And I think last year we just said yes to everything. So even if it necessarily wasn't something we typically shoot, and being presented with the idea like scared the hell out of us, we were just like, yep, we'll do it, yep. And imposter syndrome was real.
Yeah.
But
There was one point we were shooting a busy restaurant at a resort in this place called Monkey Mire, which is an area of Shark Bay in WA. It's pretty remote. It's I think it's the westernmost point of Australia, that area.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted us to shoot having dinner during a sunset, and they've given us the best spot in the restaurant. They've kept all the tables around us clear so that we have room to photograph. And then there's all these people having dinner, and we've got the camera set up, and we at this point we're just shooting hikes. We're shooting ourselves alone in nature. We're not used to being in front of the camera in public. All these people are kind of staring at us, pointing at us, laughing, and the camera's running, so we have to pretend to be smiling and talking and eating and stuff. And my body shut down. My nervous system just couldn't cope with it. And I guess it showed me that most of the time that something like that's happening, you actually learn more about the people who are judging you. It's kind of a reflection of their insecurities and stuff, but it is uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the less it affects you. And we're at the point now where we can go into a busy scene, set the camera up, shoot a few things, and it doesn't affect us at all.
Yes.
I don't know if that's helpful information, but
building a little
I
bit
just
of
imagine
tourism
you guys
strength.
walking in there and Adam's just pinkies up. I gotta be so fancy right now. That sounds, I feel like most people would be like, oh my gosh, yeah. They don't think about the tourism board side of things. If you're only pitching hikes or an epic thing that's always shot, but it's no, there's so much that they are trying to government funded bring people in to all of these different, as you said, museums, restaurants. I love that you guys were we're open to saying yes to doing everything, because that creates amazing relationships. How do you feel relationship development among tourism boards has helped you, and how do you feel like you've intentionally created great relationships? And there's any key things you would recommend someone who's newer, who's like,
Yeah.
I want to get into this? How important is relationships when it comes to tourism?
It's huge. Yeah, I think in a lot of our testimonials and feedback we receive from tourism boards, because at the end of every job we're like, oh, do you have any feedback on what we could improve on,
Love
or what we could do better next time? And yeah, pretty much, yeah, the majority of the feedback is you guys were just so easy to work with. And I think just, going into a job, just being efficient with your communication, being flexible is a huge thing. And yeah, I think just like last year, our willingness to say yes to everything, it showed that we were really keen and eager to, try different things and be open to learning and receiving feedback and things like that.
And asking lots of questions. I think,
Yeah.
like from the outset, if you can define everything, so make sure that you have like the deliverables completely defined. Otherwise, it can kind of shift around a little bit.
Yeah.
But then
100%.
asking questions about like when you want us here, like what kind of stuff is really useful to you, or what hasn't worked, or like that kind of stuff. I think
Yeah.
one of the things that we learned in the Mastermind that was incredible was if you ask what has gone wrong in the past, it's a weird hack that kind of allows them to show you what direction, like
Yeah.
what they don't like, but also
Yeah.
what they need. It does
Yes.
two things at once. That's
So
really
good.
helpful.
Yeah, I think our
Great.
first tourism board campaign, I think you asked that question. You were like, oh, what have you experienced in working with other creators or influencers or, people, what can we do different? And yeah, they said that some people come in just thinking that they know everything and they're so rigid in terms of how they work, or they're not flexible. So yeah, I think just going in and being super transparent and having like a willingness to learn and be open, like I think that's the best approach to take, because yeah, people do really, really appreciate that transparency. And
Yeah, not pushing back. If they do
Yeah.
ask you, like if you think that it's a hiking campaign and they ask you to shoot a restaurant, just do it. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
100%. Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
we were
love
talking the
that.
other day about the whole idea of niching down, which I can kind of understand if you live in like a city or something where you have to stand out in one area. I think for us, it's a bit opposite. It's kind of opposite, where if we're in an area where maybe a lot of people, like they don't have as much, I guess it's kind of the same as the window cleaning. If you're in a farming town where there's someone who doesn't do a lot of roles, and you can pick up many different things. So if you can shoot video and UGC and photos, not only those things, but in different genres within photography,
Yeah.
that's really helpful. I think for tourism as well, if you can kind of show that you're able to give anything a crack,
That's great.
that helps build the relationship, because then they know they can rely on you and trust you to like have a go at anything they throw at you.
well, yeah, our
Yeah.
first tourism board campaign that we shot here, since then we've gotten a bunch of different jobs. And the last one that we shot, which I think was during the Mastermind, it was an electric vehicle charging station.
Yes, I remember you
The
telling us
opening.
about that. So cool.
Yeah, and when it popped up in our emails, our contact from the tourism board was like, I know this isn't usually something that you would shoot, but I'm just wondering if you guys would love to give this a crack. And yeah, we were like, hell yeah.
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 Definitely.
Why not? Why not? And
That's
it's
so
cool
cool.
that she knows that we're willing, or we're happy to, take on things that we wouldn't normally necessarily
Yes.
shoot. But yeah.
That also reminded me of something that I thought was worth mentioning on this for sure. That I think one of the biggest things that I learned in the Mastermind too, I think Joey, you said it, was not everyone needs a hero image, or not every image has to be beautiful. I think that took a lot of weight off my shoulders in terms of I would always kind of be stressing out that I haven't got all these incredible images. Sometimes they just need an image that shows the product. Like, I guess it's like the utility of the product.
Utility.
Or something that they can whack some text over, or, that just shows the product as it is. Because that's just as useful as, the emotion or the thing that you get from the hero shot. And I think, funnily enough, is that once you start taking photos that just show utility, they're still beautiful. They're still going to look nice. And it just gives you more range. So, yeah, I used to struggle if we had to take, more than 30 photos. I'd be like, oh, I'm out of ideas. Whereas now you can take a lot more that have much more use for the company.
Yeah, that's content variation, right? That we talk about in the Mastermind. It's like, how can you, again, look through a company's funnel, look through a tourism board's funnel and go, where are all the opportunities for where content could move their business forward, help them drive attention, help educate people on their products or services and like the benefits, the features, the utility of those things. And then how does content also at the very bottom of a funnel help convert people from onlookers into actual clients? So there's so many ways that content can fill all the gaps and create opportunities in a content funnel. And I'm so glad that you guys have just really grabbed a hold on that and gone super deep into that. So you've mentioned the Mastermind. Adam, you must have said like 10 things now about, I learned this in the Mastermind, I learned that. Question for the two of you, why did you guys join? I mean, we know the answer to this, but for everybody who's listening, like, you guys are living in a van. You were in Thailand for the first week, basically.
That was when we
then
met
you
you
were
guys.
back
You
in
were literally
Indo
on
during the
a
Mastermind.
Zoom call with you guys.
You're
And you guys were in
traveling
Thailand.
Western Australia, and I'll just say this. This is just very straight up, but it's very honest and real. We're here based in the U.S. Like, we get a lot of Aussies that come through the Mastermind, which is an incredible resource for you guys. But I'm not dumb. The Australian dollar is not as strong as the American dollar. Like, there are so many reasons why you guys probably could have passed up on the Mastermind. The conversion rate. We're busy.
Time zone difference.
Time zone differences. Like, why did you guys push through all of that? And why did you join? And then if you could sum up the ROI, whether it's monetarily, whether it's just, here's what we're now experiencing. Like, what has been the impact on your business? And it's been almost 90 days since we started, which is crazy, or just around that, since maybe we ended. So yeah,
wow.
Why'd you join? What's the impact been?
I think we've always said from the start that we want to, continue to learn how to grow, and we're more than happy to invest in, the knowledge and learning about how we can improve our creative business. So, I think we got to, after last year, and having a great first year in our creative business, I think, we both felt like it was time to, do something different.
It was kind of like, when is our luck going to run out? That's what it felt like.
Yeah, after our first couple of jobs, we were like, we're going to get another job. And we weren't too sure if, the momentum was going to keep going. And we chatted to you guys about this the first time we met. And we said that, we've had an awesome first year. Like, it's been really great.
Great.
But tourism work is very sporadic. And I think, Joey, you said, it sounds like it's been quite a reactive year. And I think one of the reasons why we wanted to do the Mastermind as well was that we wanted to put systems into place and also learn how to make it a more proactive business.
Yeah.
So, something that we're working towards is working with more outdoor brands, but on a monthly basis. So we're still currently in the works, of establishing retainers.
A consistent income rather than, hey, in the next month, can you head here, here, and here? So it's always, rather than always looking ahead to have to kind of keep this lifestyle going, it's the systems that allow us to comfortably make certain decisions, I think. Mm-hmm. I think one thing too with like if you want to be a photographer, you have to spend the money to buy the camera. If you want to do if you want to understand business, read a few books or go and join a community like Creative Rise. You got to invest a little bit to get some back. And it's to be honest, I don't think it's really that big of a fee.
For us, it was a no-brainer because I actually reached out to Dagan.
Yeah,
I'm not
legend.
Sure yeah, we followed him for a while. But I think I reached out to him maybe a couple of months before the wait list came out. And I was just like, what did you think of the Mastermind? And yeah, Dagan was like, amazing, do it. Go and listen to their podcasts. And yeah, I think it was just a no-brainer for us. Like we were like, yeah, let's do it, because before we know it, we would have made back what we spent on the
That's
Mastermind.
the point of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not just throwing money in the bin.
No. And
No.
yeah, we were chatting about this the other day, like the knowledge that you gain from it and also the community that you're immersed in. Like, yeah, round 15 were awesome. And our pod, like the chats that we would have with Will and Dave.
Yeah, epic.
Oh yeah, I mean, following Will, like his podcast came out last week. I was like, oh my God, we have to follow Will.
Which you guys definitely
Come
can
on.
do. Are you kidding?
Come on. Give yourself some credit here,
Yeah,
folks. You guys are
I
incredible.
love the pods. And if
Yeah.
for those listening, the pods are basically we put people into accountability groups. We look at the list, we put people together based on where they're at in their business, where they're building. Not necessarily like, hey, you're all in the same location, but like, hey, you guys are all chasing your businesses. And we put them in pods of three businesses throughout the 6 weeks.
To really support each other.
And
Yeah,
so,
your pod's
yeah.
sick. What a good
A
crew.
great pod.
Such a good crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Dave,
We
like
loved our pod.
Dave's background before joining the Mastermind, he unlocked
Yeah.
so many. Like Christy, how you were talking about before about going onto Facebook, looking at the ads they're running. Dave kind of walked us through that whole process.
And
That's where most of our
pictures went to.
and came back
Cool.
from was kind of realizing that existed. So
Yeah.
thanks,
Brilliant.
Dave.
Shout
yeah,
out
just
Dave.
Shout
having-
out, Dave.
Shout out to Dave. Love you, Dave.
Yes.
But yeah,
That's
just
amazing.
having that access to, the community and people that you haven't even met in person, but they're there cheering you on. And yeah, it's just incredible.
And you won't grow as fast in a vacuum if it's just us two trying to figure it. Like the year before when we were trying to grow, and I love reading books, and I would pick up the weirdest books trying to get like a little gold nugget out of it. And you might learn something, but then you don't really understand the context of how to apply it or where to apply it or when. Whereas you can come to the Creative Mind community that we're in now and say like, hey, I just figured out all this information. How would you guys work with it? Or have you had this experience in the past? And it's just a useful kind of having people around you who have that mindset, being professional, putting the effort in.
No gatekeeping.
Yeah,
Yes. Big
it's
fans
true.
of that.
That's amazing.
So
guys.
good,
Yeah.
guys. Well, speaking of no gatekeeping, thanks for just being so open
I
and
know.
sharing so much great stuff on the pod today. Like,
This
so
was
cool.
so valuable.
And you guys definitely win for most beautiful location for 2026 of
There
people
we go.
streaming into the pod. So
Yes, I love
congratulations.
it.
But
I love it.
just real quick, one, thanks for being on the pod. Two, we're so proud of you guys. Like, so cool
Yeah.
to see. You guys know this. We're huge fans of partnerships, and people working together. And so to see you two do that at such an incredible level and do it in such awesome industries has been really cool to see. You've been such a great aspect of the community as well. And so just thanks for being on the pod today.
Yeah, you
sharing,
guys are amazing.
sharing the story of you guys
Thanks for
building
having
your,
us.
your
Thank
business. It's
you.
been so epic. So
Yeah. Appreciate you
love
guys.
it.
Where
Well,
can people find you?
Where can people find you?
they want to
Last
follow
question.
along?
Probably best on our Instagram. So it's at Adam and Clara.
It's Adam dot
Sick.
and dot Clara.
We'll link it.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll put it
link
in the
it.
show notes, everybody. If you want
You
to hit
guys
them
can
up
see
on
their
socials,
beautiful work because you
yeah,
guys have stunning work.
make sure
so.
you go follow them online. But guys, thank
Yeah.
you so much. So good to have you on the
Thanks
pod.
for having us.
This has been
yes,
awesome.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
been great. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
Well, what a great episode. Those guys are absolute legends. And you heard them mention the Mastermind a ton in this episode. Well, I got great news for you for the first time in months. It's been about 5.5, 6 months by the time this is going to roll out. We are actually going to be reopening enrollment to the Creative Rise Mastermind. So if you are one of the lucky people that is the right fit to be working with us to build a six-figure business with us in this next year, just like the two of them have, we are going to be excited to work with you. Now, how do you actually get involved in that? Well, you're going to want to head over to creativerise.com and read all the information about what is included, what we're going to be walking you through, all the systems, tools, and strategies we're going to be helping you implement, and our actual process for how we're going to be doing that. You can also read a ton of other and watch a ton of other super encouraging and inspiring stories of other creatives from all over the world, multiple continents, on how they've also gone through the same system that you are going to be going through. But the great news is that in under 70 days, we're going to be opening up enrollment again for the Creative Rise Mastermind. So if you're interested in that at all, you know what you got to do. You got to get on the wait list. The wait list sells it out every single time. We've been selling this out for 7 years straight. So if you're not on the wait list, you're just unfortunately not going to get quick enough access to the application. You're not going to get a spot. So head on over to creativerise.com. Make sure you jump on the wait list for the next open registration for the Creative Rise Mastermind, where we're going to help you build a six-figure business in the matter of 12 months. It's going to be so epic. Cannot wait to see you there. So head on over to creativerise.com. You can find all that in the link in the description. And also make sure that you go follow Adam and Clara and actually follow along with their journeys. See what they're doing as you now kind of can understand an inside look about what building their business looks like. Make sure you go follow what it looks like from the outside via Instagram. Go pump them up. Tell them what you took away from this week's episode, and make sure you just go encourage them there and tell them all the things that inspired them about what you just got to consume from their story and their journey of building their incredible six-figure business that they have built for themselves. So glad you guys are here this week, guys. We'll be catching you next week on another awesome episode. We'll catch you then.